Welcome back. We are here with our family tree update for Generation 8. Very exciting. Here is the relevant part of our family tree. Right now, there's, a whole nother section here that kind of died off, but here is our family tree, and we are just going to get started, I guess. I always have the same conversation with myself when I start these, if I should just go right to left or if I should, maybe I'll focus on the royal family first. So let's go over here, make it a little bigger, see if we can't. Well, we don't need Jada in it because she's Gen 7. Okay, so Gen 8 with Queen Olivia. So we all love to hate Olivia, definitely. And we will start talking about her life. So Olivia grew up remembering the explosive fights between her parents. If you remember, Jada's husband and then had a thing with Lily, and it was this whole thing where she was a spellcaster and she was tricking everybody. Anyway, so there was a lot of drama, as per usual. She didn't understand at the time, but she remembers the day that her father and her grandmother died. You should catch that video. That was really, oh my God. Um, Noelle just dropped dead. Anyway, when she was the heir, she started dating Winston. This is Winston over here. Yes, not next to Olivia, Winston. And she joined the cheerleading club. She spent Love Day with Winston and then soon found out she was pregnant with young Giorgio. And she did not want to have a child at this time. She wanted to date around and have fun and have her youth and have her teenager time. And she didn't want to be just forced to marry Winston and then that be that. So she hid her pregnancy. And then she dropped the baby off in the alien kingdom. He was a hybrid, so it made sense. And it was out of their kingdom. And then she broke up with Winston because, she ignored him for the entire pregnancy and then just dumped him. So that was awkward. And she wanted to hide that she had a child and didn't want to be, forced to stop having fun and doing what she wanted with her youth. And then she became a young adult, became a style influencer. That was a very interesting time with interesting outfits. She kept running into Winston, but it made her angry. And so she decided to, cause some problems, make him jealous. And the first person she found was Jedediah. That's his name. I was close. It was her sister's boyfriend, Cordelia's boyfriend, Jedediah. That was really uncomfortable for everyone involved. Poor Cordelia was heartbroken. And Olivia and Jedediah, um, you know, were flirty. They were drinking. They were having some fun. Later, they did have a real relationship and they actually liked each other. And she didn't feel guilty about stealing her sister's boyfriend because she's a terrible person. And they were quickly engaged because they got accidentally pregnant, and that time she did not mind it. So, she was older at that time and she was like, okay, I'm ready to settle down. Anyway, she had a great wedding. It was so much fun. And she was pregnant. And when she was talking with her mother, Jada, about the pregnancy, it kind of came out that she had the secret child, which Jada was not happy that she just abandoned her child. And so Jada forced her to bring Giorgio back home. He was a child at the time. And that was really, you know, tough for him. But they didn't want to ruin the reputations of, saying, oh my God, she abandoned her kid, blah, blah, blah. And Jada wanted her grandson to come back. And it was just this whole thing. So Olivia was not happy. She did not treat her son well because she didn't want him there. And she did not want him to take the spot of her daughter, Winter. She didn't want him to become the heir over Winter just because he was older. So her and her husband did not like Giorgio. During the reign after Jada passed away, I feel like I don't know. Should I be talking about everything that's going on at these times? Every time I do this, I do it a different way and I never know what I'm doing. Um, you know what? Let's talk about everybody else before she became queen as well. Let's do that. Okay, Jedediah started dating Cordelia after as a teenager, but he had a thing with Olivia and then they pursued a relationship. Yep, yep, yep. He actually is power hungry, so he just didn't mind. He was like, yeah, I'll be with the queen. That'll be awesome. So he broke up with Cordelia, got engaged to Olivia. They got pregnant. And then everyone found out about the child. They didn't like him for the reasons I already explained. Okay, we'll come back to him after she becomes queen. Cordelia, little Cordelia. As a child, Cordelia did martial arts. That was fun. That was a mod. She always was into video games. She got a cat named Ruby. It was just very, very cute. cute, what's it called? Childhood. Cordelia dated Jedediah, but he left her for her sister. She was heartbroken. At the wedding of her sister, Cordelia spent a lot of time with Winston because they could both understand. They were both dumped by the people that they were with, and now those people were together, and they just kind of bonded over that, and they kind of got closer. And when Giorgio came back to the castle, Cordelia was kind to him, and she was one of the only people that was nice to him, along with Winston and Jada. And they became close, her and Winston, because Winston was always around to see his son. And she became a young adult. She joined the tech guru career, and then we get to the queenhood. So we have Winston. Winston started dating Olivia. She broke up with him suddenly. He didn't know why. He became close to Cordelia at the wedding. Okay, this is all stuff we already know. It was a shock to find out he had a son, and he tried to spend as much time as possible with Giorgio, and got together with Cordelia at this time. And so those two had gotten together. Anyway, let's get to, I guess we could talk about everyone. That's what we're doing this time. Giorgio was abandoned by his parents as an infant and raised by the alien royal family. As a child, he found out that he about his biological family and was encouraged to get to know him. He ended up moving back into the Phoenix Kingdom, but he always kept in touch with his alien family and loved them very, very much. They were his real family. And he was resented by his mother and stepfather. They had a bad relationship, but he was treated nicely by his aunt and his father. He took up music as a teen and started dating his childhood friend Callie. That is the alien princess. We'll see her in a second. And as soon as his grandmother died, okay. Then we have little Winter, who was raised with a silver spoon. She loved pink and dressing pretty, but her passion was rock climbing and sports. She was very multifaceted, and that we'll come back to that. Bellamy grew up with the drama, and she enjoyed living in the castle, got along with her family well. All right, so that is stuff that was happening before Olivia became queen. Now, when Olivia became queen, the first thing she did was banish Giorgio. That was not good. She banished Giorgio so that he couldn't, try to take Winter's spot as the crown royal. And then Giorgio kind of went home to the alien kingdom, but they were not happy to hear how their beloved son was treated. So um, then they declared war. And that was not good. So she didn't want to go to war herself. She was super selfish and she was just kind of a horrible person. And she made everybody die for her. And we don't like her. But anyway, so the war started, but she didn't want to go to war. So she sent her husband. He died immediately. Um, Olivia sent him to war. He died in the first round. Yeah. Um, that was terrible. So she sent her husband to die in her place. Then she made a deal with the Griffin family. Now, the Griffin family had originally, if you've been watching this series from the beginning, they had been the military family. So she made a deal with them for more military power, and she agreed to marry her daughter Winter to their son Miguel in order to, cement that relationship. So that's when um, she got engaged to. No, that's not what happened. She was put into an arranged marriage with Miguel Griffin and did not mind. Now, Winter was understanding of her half brother's position, and she knew that like him having a good life with parents who love him and whatever, like originally would mean that she wouldn't exist. She would have never been born if he had had the life he was supposed to have. Um, so while she understands his position, also you know, she can't be sad about it because if she wouldn't have her life. And we're all a little bit selfish in that way. She's a good person, but she understands the reality of the situation. She was very sad when her father died at war. So there was that. Miguel moved into the royal family after his engagement to the crown princess in exchange for military support. We'll get to their relationship in a second. Let's see what was happening with these people. Yeah, she was upset when her sister banished Giorgio, but there was nothing she could do. And she, begged her sister to fix things, but it just was not happening. Um, Now, when everyone was starting to go to war, each family had to send a person. So technically, Winston was a duke at the time, so he would have had to go, but his sister offered to go instead of him so that he didn't have to fight against his son. And unfortunately, King Jedediah died, and so we needed another person from the royal family to go, and Olivia was actually going to send Cordelia, but Winston was like, no, no, no. So he went instead of his wife. So that's what happened there. And then, where are we? I should just stop skipping around. Public sentiment was turning against her because, there was no reason for us to be at war except for that she's a terrible mother. And it was not good. So people did not really like her. She again refused to go to the front lines, and then she sent Winston. And then after Winston was taken prisoner of war because they weren't going to kill him because he's Giorgio's father, and they didn't want to do that. So after he was taken prisoner of war, she then sent Cordelia, who had no one to go for her after that. So that was not good. And then she let people die. Then her sister. Yeah. Okay. So meanwhile, we have the kids starting their own stuff. Also, Cordelia got taken prisoner as well. So we have the kids stuff happening at the same time. So we have Winter who is engaged to Miguel, and they're actually getting close and they really like each other. It's just, they actually were pretty compatible and they had fallen in love. And she understood as she got older what a poor job her mother was doing as the queen, and she resolved that she would be a different queen than her mother. And things became more dire. She then knew that her mother was going to send Bellamy to war next, and she didn't want that. So she got engaged to Miguel at a trip to the pier and, officially engaged, even though it was kind of already decided. But um, they, he still proposed to her like separately because they had a good relationship with each other. She had a good relationship with Bellamy as well. Her and Bellamy were very close. She was kind of Bellamy's big sister in a way. And then she knew her mother was going to try to send Bellamy to war next, and she didn't want that. So she stepped in and she took responsibility for her kingdom. She said, I'm supposed to be the queen. The queen was supposed to go to war and you didn't, and so I'm going to go in your stead. And she eloped with Miguel before leaving for war, and unfortunately, she did pass away at war, which made Cordelia next in line for the throne. And that also really soured the relationship between Bellamy and Miguel. Let's see. Um, He took on the role of future king. Oh, yeah, there was some drama there. I forgot. He did not get along with Bellamy. Not only was he mad at her because Winter went away for her, but she's also a hybrid, and there was like some low key xenophobia going on in the kingdom at the time. Not good. Um, he took on the role of future king too seriously. So he had a brother, and we'll get to his brother's story in just a second, but his brother did not father a child before leaving for war, and he was not happy with that. And when his brother did die on the battlefield, he then became the duke. And he eloped with Winter. This hurt his relationship with Bellamy as he blamed her. He also started gambling at the time. And then we have Bellamy, who um, let's see, she was just very close to Winter. Miguel was not nice to her even as a child, and her father was taken prisoner. Her mother was taken prisoner. She just had no one left except for Winter. And then after Winter died, there was really no one there for her, and she was very vulnerable at this time. And she became a writer, and she likes Gothic style. Love her style. She had a hard time without her parents, and her aunt didn't even like her. So when Winter stepped in to go to war for her, she became enemies with Miguel. That was not good. So after the death of Princess Winter, Crown Princess Winter. Let's see, where were we? News of Winter's death. She knew she had to secure the future of her kingdom. She cursed herself for not having more children, but she was an elder at this point, so it was too late to even try to have any more. So she finally had to acknowledge Bellamy as her heir because Cordelia was a prisoner of war at the time, so Bellamy. Miguel came to her offering to go to war. Miguel wanted to go to war. He wanted to fight. Winter died there. He wanted to go and he wanted to, get justice for her, revenge for her, whatever you want to call it. Winter was just another victim in a long list of victims of Olivia's, you know, war that she caused. And she agreed that he could go to war for their family, but she said that she wants him to marry Bellamy and have a child because she was going to send Bellamy next. And, part of him also was protecting Bellamy a little bit because Winter loved her so much, and he knew he that she would want him to protect her. So the agreement between them was that he had to father a child with Bellamy because they needed someone to continue the royal line, and she was planning on sending Bellamy to war as well. And if Bellamy also died at war, there would be no one left to inherit the throne. We'd have to like go up and go find someone. So that's what happened. They were forced to get married. Um, Mary Bellamy and blah blah blah. It was awkward, very awkward wedding. Nobody went because they're all mad at Olivia, and half of them are dead. Um, he did get revenge for Winter at war by killing the alien who killed Winter. Um, let's see. Heir presumptive. Bellamy became the heir. Her freedoms were restricted. Everything was a disaster. She was forced to marry Miguel, and she did not like that. And they were quickly married, and um, but then also at their wedding, Gloria Kitsune, who was the current Grand Duchess, she asked Bellamy as her sister-in-law, because she's Miguel's sister, to take care of her children because her husband had already died at war and they needed someone to take care of the kids. So Bellamy agreed to take in the children. And she was kind of realizing at that time how bad everything was because we're at the point where there are no parents left for children. They're all at war and lots of people are dying and it's not good. So Bellamy agreed to take into the children in. Then the children did become orphans because Gloria did pass away at war. Bellamy could not take it anymore. She was now enemies with Olivia. She dragged Olivia to the alien kingdom. She like beat her up and she tied her up, if we could do that in The Sims, and she took her to the alien kingdom and she brought her to Giorgio. And she said, Giorgio, we need to stop this. We need to end this war. We can't keep doing this. It's not good. And at this time, he had married Callie and had his true family by his side. And Bellamy came to him and just said, please, we need to stop this. This is the person that you're really mad at. Just end it. And he agreed. He killed his mother. Olivia's reign was over. Cordelia's reign had started. So then everybody came home, right? Everybody has come home now. And Cordelia had become the queen, and she continued. She worked on the grilled cheese aspiration, just spent time with her family. She was an elder at this point. She was just having a good time. She ate grilled cheese in space. She at this time Bellamy had already taken over so many royal duties. It kind of as if Cordelia didn't really have a reign. She just kind of hung out. Winston did end up passing away because they got returned after the war, the prisoners, and she spent her time with her family before she passed in the last episode. And same with Winston. He spent his elder years with his wife, although when he did become king, because his wife became queen, he passed the title on to his sister who had gone to war for him. And she became the Duchess, and he gave up that title. So, after all that, the war was over, which was good. Bellamy continued to write books. She became a celebrity. It was all great, great, great. Miguel returned a hero from war. They threw a big party. He got to meet his son, um, Seuss, and they just were all very happy that it was all over. And let's see what happened next. Okay, so the whole stuff with Gen, what Gen is this? 9 started happening. Oh wait, I said something wrong in the last video. 8, 9, 10. So our whoever inherits the kingdom in Gen 10, that will be the last. Okay, I was thinking there was one more. That's not true. Okay, well, forget that I said that in the last one. Okay, anyway, um, let's see. Do, do, do. Okay, so their son, Zeus, was the eldest born to the royal family, but he was not born with purple eyes, so he couldn't inherit the crown. That's the rule. And his father, but since his father was also a duke, because everyone else in his family had died, literally everyone else, he became the heir to the Griffin Duchy instead. So he completed all his toddler skills and is working on the child's aspirations. So that's what's going on with him. We have Poseidon here as well. We're naming our kids after Greek gods. So they had their first child. Miguel was changed his aspiration to the serial romantic aspiration, actually. He was disappointed because he would have to have more children with Bellamy because they don't have the right eye color. He became a scientist and started having flings with all sorts of women. He invited Becca, his first mistress after Winter died, so she had a little bit of a special place in his heart. And they had a great time at his birthday party into adulthood, except Bellamy was not happy about him bringing his mistresses in front of her. Now, she didn't care that he had mistresses because she doesn't even like him. She did care that he was embarrassing her by bringing his mistress in front of everybody. So he didn't really understand what the problem was, but it was a disrespect thing. So Bellamy was not happy, and she actually talked to Giorgio, and he basically told her, if he's making you miserable, make him miserable back. So she ended up poisoning Becca, and um, Miguel was obviously like, seriously, and she's like, you know what? These two are at war now, another war, but a relationship war where they hate each other and they want to make each other miserable, and it's just going to be a total dumpster fire. So um, their relationship continued to worsen, and especially after Poseidon came out with blue eyes, they couldn't even woohoo with each other anymore with no strings attached. They chose to use artificial insemination for their third child, and he started a relationship with Cameron Siren right in front of Bellamy, and got her pregnant just to piss Bellamy off. So that's going to be a wreck. But we haven't seen her pregnant yet in the videos, but she is pregnant. Okay, she killed Becca. Poseidon aged up. Miguel flirted in front of her. Okay, after her mother's death, she became the queen. Actually, I don't think I changed. Yeah, it still says Duke. It needs to say Prince Consort. There we go. Okay, so pretend it says the right thing. The link to this family tree is in the description. Okay, so that's where we're at. We have two kids. We have another one on the way, actually. We have another child on the way. There you go. And that is the drama with the royal family for right now. Let's start talking about the other families and the impact that all of the royal family's drama had on those families, which is just like great, when somebody else's drama ruins your life. Okay, so let me just recap really quick. We had Olivia, who had dated Winston, had Giorgio, married Jedediah, had Winter. Cordelia got with Winston, had Bellamy. Winter married Miguel but died, so Miguel married Bellamy, and they have Zeus and Poseidon. So that's a royal family. If we go over here to the Kitsune family, actually, what level is Olivia on? Oh my gosh, actually, it goes, yeah, wow. Okay. We're actually going to take a little blast into the past for some of these childhoods of these people because I totally forgot. Okay, Santino started dating Vic as a teen. He became a werewolf and they got married. He died in the war. Vic actually is um, the half sibling of Olivia and Cordelia because sh the father had an affair. It was this whole thing. You can catch that in the last recap. But anyway, Vic joined the drama club, came out as non-binary, joined a dance group, dated Santino. Um, Moonwood Will, werewolves. Vic did not become a werewolf, though. They were married. Vic died also at war. They had a son named Julian. Julian was quickly married. Um, it was actually an arranged marriage by Miguel. Miguel arranged this relationship between the two of you because he was going off for a war, and he actually died at war. So it was good that they got married quickly. But Miguel did arrange her marriage because of the whole drama with their brother, which we'll get to in a second. But she was the only other Griffin um, family member left. So, anyway, Gloria asked Bellamy to take care of her children. She went off to war. She actually died at war, leaving her children orphans. These two children are currently living with the royal family because they have no parents. Uh, he actually became the Grand Duke as an infant, and was raised in the royal family, very best education. I never finished writing this. Um, no, but that's fine. It's not supposed to be finished. I was going to finish this when they became teenagers. They completed all their toddler skills, and they'll have completed probably 3 childhood aspirations. But that's what's going on with the twins right now. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. You can see right here. Where am I? Okay, here we are, actually. Um, maybe I should. No, it's okay. Okay, so we have then over here we have Duke Mikhail the Sixth. He made a deal with the Queen when the war started to give military support, and in exchange for Miguel's marriage to Bellamy. You can see they're like very distantly related. If we go way, way, way up, they have the same, I don't know, great, 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 great. So they arranged a marriage for their second son. He died in the first round. Diane also died. Now, their firstborn son, this was the drama. Mikhail VII became duke as a teenager because both his parents died at war. He was pressured to find a wife and impregnate her, not because the kingdom is homophobic, but because, you know, we need more Sims for the war. And, it was like you could die out there, so you need an heir. But he is gay, and he was in love with Samuel. Samuel. But he knew it could mean the end of his direct line. Anyway, he followed his heart because he knew he was going to war, and he was like, I'm not going to do what you want if I'm going to die out there. He did end up dying. Samuel also went to war. He did end up dying as well. That was not good. Okay. Where are we? Shelby went to war for her brother Winston. She was married to Britta. They had 2 children. The heir is Cameron, who is with Corey. They were quickly married during the war again. But she's the one who just had a little fling with Miguel, so that'll yield something later. They currently have 2 children, Emily and Sabrina. We have the Alien Kingdom, of course. They raised Giorgio. Giorgio fell in love with the daughter there, and they currently have a daughter, Alexia. I'm not going to rehash that. Okay, we have Alessandra, who is married to Dustin. They both died at war. Their daughter Nora inherited the duchy. They were quickly married. Again, everybody had to get quickly married because so many Sims died. It was unreal. I could not believe it. Like 2 of my households have died out, and I need to fill them back up. They were quickly married. They actually have 3 children now: Alicia, Joanne, and Messiah. Messiah. The game generated that name. I mean, you could be the second coming, my friend. I don't know. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Jedediah and his drama. Ella actually left a long time ago, so there was that. But yeah, that's everybody, and I hope that you enjoyed this little recap. That was actually a lot. So that was really fun. But that is what happened in Gen 8. We're moving on to Gen 9. There are 2 generations left. It's very, very exciting. And yeah, I hope that you guys really liked this, and I will continue to do recap videos every generation. And we have 2 more, so let's do it. I'll catch you in the next one.